Hello and welcome back to What I Talk About When I Talk About Art, which shortens to Witta Wittar, which is a fun word to say. Go ahead, try it. What is meant by the word art? Look, rather than thinking about the big picture of that question, let's just go over some examples and decide if it would be called art. After all, words don't prescribe meaning to us, they just describe how we use them. There are some things you could easily get most people to agree is art. Paintings, art. Sculptures, art. Literature, anything published before 50 Shades, maybe. Anything skillfully made with a fixed physical medium. Welcome to the art club. Wipe your feet on the welcome mat that looks like Starry Night. Performances, both dramatic and musical, are art. More arguably, less traditional media like cinema and video games are art. These are all art forms that were made to be, in one way or another, appreciated as art. As we move out of the realms of art made to be appreciated, there is one form of art that made me question how we should define art. Martial arts. Art is right there in their name, so surely it must be art, right? Well, let's work one word at a time. Martial is a broad term, but it's understandable. It refers to anything like fighting, violence, war, combat, military, and other things that most men enjoy watching more than they enjoy being involved in. Martial arts are associated with unarmed East Asian martial arts like karate, kung fu, and taekwondo, but you don't need me to tell you that violence against our fellow human beings is not relegated to within anyone's borders. Martial arts have existed throughout history and across the world. To name just a few in increasing order of obscureness, there is boxing, fencing, national variations of jiu-jitsu, pankrashen, capoeira, Turkish oil wrestling, and shin kicking. Ouch. Even use of ancient weapons like javelin or archery can be considered martial arts. Some are sports with specific rule sets, but all are systems designed to formalize the teaching of combat. But that means that all of these martial arts have something that distinguishes them from every other art we mention. Martial arts have a purpose. That's not to say that traditional art can't be used or made with a purpose in mind. Music can be listened to for motivation, and sculptures can be created to honor great people. Those purposes are linked with the art being appreciated as an art form. The artistry required to make a lump of rock resembling something recognizable or beautiful is impressive enough to make that rock worthy of commemorating a person. A martial art used to enact violence is not there to be appreciated, it's there to cause violence. Maybe a great boxer can be appreciated for the speed and accuracy of their punch, but appreciation is not the purpose of boxing. The purpose is, despite the appeal to spectators, to fight. Where the martial arts blur the line between purpose and artistry is what happens when a martial art is no longer about fighting. Take Tai Chi. It refers to multiple systems of fighting and wrestling, but in its modern usage, Tai Chi refers to a slow series of predetermined movements typically practiced in a form comparable to meditation. Many martial arts have predetermined movements that are practiced to improve fighting technique, but in most of the ways it's practiced today, Tai Chi is just the predetermined movements and does not have any intent on making the practitioners any better at fighting. What does a martial art become when it's only barely martial? Similarly, modern competition wushu is an acrobatic routine of movements referencing various styles of kung fu. These martial arts have more in common with a dance routine than a fight, making them closer to what is typically thought of as art. All martial arts lie on a spectrum, where some focus more on the practical application of the physical alteration, while others focus on the visual appeal and the accuracy of the execution. What changed my opinion about art, though, is that I strongly believe that wherever it sits on this spectrum, all martial or martial adjacent forms of movement are just as much art as the Mona Lisa is. Art can be practical. I've already mentioned how art can helpfully affect our thoughts and feelings, but beauty can be found and reverence had in anything done with appreciable skill. Think about the word artisan. when the worker is so skilled at their craft that it becomes like an art. Artisan. Between a carpenter and a creator of wooden sculptures, when does the artisan become the artist? They are both artists. I don't think art needs defining, but in relation to all the above, I'll state this. Art is just a deliberate interaction with the physical world. If you have something that you put effort into, something you're good at, an action that draws thoughts and feelings out of you as you splatter yourself across the canvas of lived existence, that is beautiful. You may not be able to hang it in a gallery, but art doesn't need to be justified by a pair of eyes. The word artistry and celebrity don't even live on the same continent. See the beauty in what you've done and see yourself as an artist, because you are.